Okay, let's dive right into this, guys. Welcome to today's Explainer. We're unpacking a really fascinating document today, detailing the Almodear employment and work partner system. Look, if you've ever felt like the traditional 9-to-5 grind is just a bit too rigid, or maybe you've wondered how we could better distribute work to the people who actually need it, you're going to find this brief overview incredibly interesting. We're looking at a very specific, highly structured proposal that basically tries to completely rethink how we work, who we work with, and maybe most importantly, how we get paid.
So what if you could share your full-time job with someone who's currently unemployed? Just imagine that scenario for a second. You have a full-time role, but you want to step back a bit, maybe just work part-time? Well, instead of just flat-out quitting, what if you could essentially carve out a piece of your job and a fair share of your salary and hand it directly to someone who is out of work and really looking for an opportunity? That's the exact kind of disruptive premise outlined in our source document today.
And that brings us right to the core philosophy of the Almodear system, the work partner. A work partner operates in a model where participants fully commit to a project or a role, and in return, they take a fair share of the salary or the profits. The absolutely crucial point here is that this entire system is anchored on two things: fairness and mutual commitment. It's not about just hiring cheap labor, right? It's really about the equitable distribution of work and reward, as long as the partners actually remain committed to the project.
Section 1. The 4 participant profiles. Building the employment ecosystem.
Let's look at the first two profiles, because these really form the heart of this whole job-sharing dynamic. Over on the left side, we've got the full-time employee. These are folks who already have a job, but they want to transition to part-time. To make that happen, they specify a share of their salary that they're willing to offer up. Then on the right side, we have the unemployed. These are individuals actively looking to work part-time for a fair share. And this honestly brilliantly illustrates the symbiosis the Almodear system is trying to create. It directly connects the people who want to work less with those who desperately need to work more, making this direct transfer of both workload and income possible.
But, it's not just peer-to-peer job sharing. The third profile in this ecosystem is a bit more traditional: the employers. These are your standard business owners or companies who specifically want to hire part-time employees. And again, the source document heavily emphasizes that this must be for a fair salary. So the platform does accommodate traditional hiring, but strictly through this part-time, fair wage lens. And finally, we have the fourth profile, which is entirely project-based. If a project needs part-time employees, it goes straight onto the projects list. Now, to be listed, a project has to state that they're looking for part-time workers and list the specific expertise they need. But more importantly, and this is key, it must explicitly outline the employee's share from the total project share, as well as the total number of employees they actually need for that specific share. So we're talking complete transparency here. If you join a project as a work partner, you know exactly how many people are involved and exactly what slice of the overall pie you're entitled to, provided you remain committed.
Section 2. Registration and fee structure. The toll gate.
So to add your name to any of the 4 lists we just went over, whether you're the full-time employee, the employer, the unemployed, or a project, there is an entry fee. And that number is 450 Saudi reals, which comes out to roughly $120. The document is very clear that this is a required, one-time payment just to gain access and get your name onto one of those specific participant sheets.
But what happens if your circumstances change? Well, the document specifies a second fee, 150 Saudi reals, or about $40. You've got to pay this if you want to change or completely remove your submitted information from the sheet, which, if you think about it, really helps to maintain a super accurate and committed ecosystem of actual users.
As for the actual onboarding process, it's pretty streamlined. Let's just walk through these steps together real quick. Step 1, fill up the forms with your details and whatever it is you're offering or seeking. Step 2, pay that one-time fee we just talked about. And Step 3, attach the invoice directly into the form as proof of payment. Boom. It's a very clean, straightforward, actionable sequence to get you registered into the system.
Section 3. How the matchmaking works. Connecting the ecosystem.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the connections are actually made once everyone is in the system. It's basically a cross-referencing model. On the left side, if you're someone seeking a part-time job, you need to look into 2 specific lists. You either look at the sheet of full-time employees who are offering a share of their salary, or you check the employer's list for people looking to hire. Conversely, over on the right side, if you are the one seeking to hire, you look directly into the unemployed sheet to find folks wanting to work part-time. It's a very deliberate, self-serve kind of matching process.
And for that fourth category, the project seekers, the matching is super direct.
If you're looking for a project to work on as a true work partner, actually sharing in the overall profits, you simply look directly into the project sheet list. That's where you'll find the available opportunities and the exact expertise they're requesting.
The source document actually wraps up its overview of this entire mechanical structure with a very human, very earnest sentiment. It states, quote, "That's all in our employment service. If God will, we wish you all the best of luck," unquote. It's kind of a fascinating juxtaposition, right? You have this highly structured, fee-based transactional system, but it's built entirely around this core concept of fairness, mutual aid, and goodwill.
Which naturally leads us to our final thought for this explainer. Could this model of fair share cooperation actually reshape how we view traditional employment? The Almodear concept really challenges that binary idea of being either fully employed or completely unemployed. It proposes this flexible middle ground where work, salary, and profits can literally be dynamically shared based on mutual need and mutual commitment. It's absolutely a fascinating framework to consider. Thank you so much for joining me as we explored this unique source material today. I really hope it gave you a lot to think about regarding the future of flexible work and how we can better support one another in the modern economy.